everybody. Today I'll be discussing EUN2 geometry, focusing on describing the features of three-dimensional objects. According to the Australian curriculum, teachers should teach students how to identify geometric features such as the numbers of faces, corners, or edges. As a mathematics teacher, it's crucial to understand how different teaching pedagogies can be used to support students' learning. Piaget, with his focus on constructivist teaching, believes that knowledge acquisition operates with cognitive development. Teachers need to facilitate problem posing and solving to help children in building their mathematics knowledge development, rather than traditional teaching of directly providing instructions. It will be more effective if teachers direct students with a series of inquiry-based learning activities. Bloom's taxonomy also defines students' cognitive skills in numeracy thinking and learning through 6 stages. Teachers can apply each level of the pedagogy to encourage children in describing, discussing, comparing, and contrasting 3D objects by using appropriate terminology. These include instructing students to use correct vocabularies such as vertex, edge, and surface when they identify different 3D shapes. Here are some of the examples of what we can do to help all children in learning the features and attributes of 3D objects, including the EL/D learners who learn English as an additional language or dialects. The learning activities are based on the process of describing, sorting, and classifying, which can be associated with Van Hill's levels of geometric thoughts. In Year 2, students would have already achieved level 0 of recognizing and naming 3D shapes. It's essential to connect the concept to children's everyday life. As a whole group approach, the teacher could pass different 3D objects to children and let them roll the sphere or the cuboid on a surface from this side to another side. So here's a cube model that I made using wooden pop sticks. To be more engaging in teaching, I'll introduce the features of the cube by pointing at each property, as well as counting the numbers of edges, vertices, and faces. While the face is a flat surface of the cube, I'll demonstrate to the class that the edge is where the two faces meet, and the vertex is when two or more edges meet together. Teachers can stick square-shaped papers on each side of the cube when counting faces. After that, students will be able to understand that there are 6 faces of the cube. Using labels and marker pens might also be an effective way for students to describe or count the properties of 3D objects. For example, they can draw straight lines on the objects when counting edges. To support EL/D learners' participation, teachers can teach the subject-based vocabulary using illustrated glossaries and word walls. There will be words associated with the teaching content such as cylinder, pyramid, or triangular prism. Describing and sorting activities help children to develop thinking of level 1 and lead toward level 2 thinking described by Van Hill's model. After the demonstration of how to describe different attributes, students are going to form into a small group of 2 to 3 people. They will look for 3D objects in the classroom and describe their features to their partners. Children need to be able to describe properties of the 3-dimensional objects they found in the class and identify how they are similar or different from each other, using the geometric terminology that they've just learned. Using the Think, Pair, Share strategy in group discussion develops the thinking and learning process of each student. This approach would also support students from EL/D backgrounds, as it allows them time to formulate their ideas and enhance their literacy capabilities through viewing, listening, and speaking. For assessment purposes, we might ask ourselves, how might students apply their geometric knowledge in their future learning, and how might we use different approaches to assess students' learning? Designing diagnostic assessment might be useful for students to achieve a deep understanding of the concept. It allows teachers to determine students' strengths and weaknesses before any further summative assessment tasks. It's also a fundamental starting point for EL/D learners, where teachers can provide specific instruction to assist their learning of curriculum content. Thank you for listening.